If you want people to pay attention to your writing, you can't waste time on introductions or setup. You just need to start. Vonnegut actually said something even stronger than that, which is you should start as close to the end as possible. This is something I'm really, really bad at, and if you watched some of the previous videos, you saw that because every one of these videos started with me talking about who I am and what this series is about and so on and so forth. It's not that that information isn't useful, but that it's not useful at first when someone wants to actually see what you're going to talk about instead of who you are and what your history is and what you're going to tell them in the abstract. It's really hard as an author to keep this in mind. You write things about who you are and you write things about what you're going to talk about. You write things to tell the reader what to expect. And you do that in the interest of making them feel comfortable, making them feel like it's worth their time. The thing is, we don't live in a world in which we're all casually strolling through a library, pulling books off the shelf and thumbing through them and seeing how they speak to us or not. We're not in a very relaxed pace, really calm environment for learning and study most of the time. We're busy, we're tired, we're distracted. We have 20 different inboxes to look through. We have 100 different responsibilities. There's information spraying all over us at all times, and we're trying to catch the little bits of things that actually matter to us. And so many people and so many things are actually not making good use of our time, whether it's advertisements or promotions or just poorly written link bait for God knows what. And so you have to remember as an author that you're not putting something into someone's hands who's already committed to enjoying it. Even if it's someone who's seen some of your work before, they may not remember. Even if they've seen it before and remember, they may still be tired, distracted, frustrated. Their day is not a day that's equivalent to someone sitting around trying to consciously and quietly and calmly study from known good sources. We just don't live in that world anymore. We live in a world of feeds and social networks and constant distraction. And so when you just start telling the story, when you make your points through the story of what you want to talk about, you show an example, you start telling a bit about the background of something by illustrating it rather than saying, today I'm going to tell you about this concept and that concept and that concept. You just show the concept in a realistic setting. When you do that, someone can quickly look at that and decide whether that's interesting to them or not, whether it's exciting enough. And it's your job as a writer to use that and build on it and connect it to all the things that you want to tell someone so that they know where they're going for the next step and the next step and the next step. But they don't need to see the whole path and the destination, because that's your job as an author to make sure that they can trust that once they make that first step, that you'll bring them to the next one and the next one, and it'll be worth their time. And if it's not, they can stop reading, stop watching. And this is something that as an author, it's so hard to deal with. But as a reader, if you look at your own behavior, you know that this is what you actually want. And so recognizing this as an author is the first step towards writing things that work better for your readers and are more respectful and mindful of their time. It's something I really struggle with, and I'm only good at it when I have a ton of time to really, really think about it. But I think I also need to make this more of a habit for myself. Look at the things that work well for you as a reader and what don't. And ask yourself, do the things that work well have a ton of introduction, or do they capture your interest through a good example or a good story up front? And then use what you learn from that to decide how you should write.